Welcome back to Miami. It's hot, it's sunny, it's probably humid. Oh, wait, it's nighttime. This is Vampire the Requiem, second edition by Onyx Path Games. We're playing Vice City Gateway to Sin, and I am Josh Wallace, half of Angels Citadel. I am your GM storyteller. Basic chaos instigator and somewhat narrator and occasional cat herder, I guess. This is my cast. They're all here, and it's wonderful. I'll have them introduce themselves, and then we'll get right into a quick recap and jump into our action. So, Joanne, let's start with you today. We never start with you.
That's because I'm making sure everything's running smooth. Okay. I am Joanne Wallace, the other half of Angel Citadel and the technical guru that makes the stream sort of work. I am playing Kimberly McKnight, a vampire, Deva, and I am working on joining Order Dracul.
Yes, you are. Mr. Jeff Vaden.
Hello, my name is Jeff. You can find me on Discord as Jeffrey Boring, and I will be playing Sage, who is an off-the-path mechette who is floundering as a new vampire.
And Rusty, the awesome robot. You are muted, Rusty.
Get it together, girl.
Oh no!
Okay, can be heard now?
Hey, there we go.
All right. Hi, I'm Rusty. I'm playing Victor Rockwell, a Gangrel Invictus who is trying any excuse to currently get out of Risa.
You're breaking up a little bit, though.
How about now?
We can hear you.
Okay. So I'm using it through the browser, and every time I switch tabs, I guess it just cuts me out. So
That just means I get your entire focus while we're playing.
it means I can't get.
I can reach through that screen and grab your scruffy little face and hold it. Ha
We go back. Hi, Rusty. I'm Victor Rockwell, a Gangrel Invictus who is right now trying to find any excuse and any way to get out of a threesome
that he got himself into.
He is not having
Yep,
fun with.
that
He got himself into it. He's just not having fun towards the end of it.
Poor baby.
And last but not least, Caro.
Hi, I'm Caro. I'm playing Charlotte Delacour and Invictus DeVay. And it's not my fault you're like in love with me or something.
It absolutely is your fault you're in love with me, you know.
Taking a lot of inspiration from the new Mean Girls movie for this character.
All right, let's have a quick recap. What did we get into last time?
Last time we learned that we have jumped 3 months ahead. In the meantime, Charlotte has been climbing the social ladder of the Invictus Devays. Sage has gotten a job making an office look nice, which wouldn't we all like a nice job like that? uh, Victor has been working on Kimberly's music video, and Kimberly has been working on it with him. The thing that we learn about the folks that are visiting is the last time I dealt with them, half of my clan were killed by the prince. Rebecca and Victoria show up for our new party. They offer someone to join them for a threesome. Someone then leads Charlotte to believe that he is in mortal danger, and she has now knocked on the door pretending to be his perturbed girlfriend.
And that is where we'll start today. The door opens, and you see a mostly unclad woman in almost gossamer lingerie, and it's just draped over her body. There's no ties or anything like that. But you remember that she was introduced as Victoria, and she looks at you and raises her eyebrow and says, "May I help you?"
She is really putting on the alligator crocodile tears. And Victor?
"Why, yes, dear. Victor's in here with us."
Victor, what are you doing in here?
And Victor is, is seeing what she's doing. He's gonna play along. It's not what it looks like. I promise.
"Oh, let me assure you, it's exactly what it looks like. Would you care to join us, my dear?" And she reaches up, and just one finger she hooks under your chin, just like that, and kind of gently tugs.
Victor, we were supposed to go into eternity together.
"How is this stopping you? He's right here."
It was supposed to be just the two of us. We were going to... I did this for you!
And he's gonna get this look of guilt on his face. You're no, you're right. This was a mistake. I promise. It's not gonna happen again. What can I do to fix this?
She
Not-
turns to the two visitors. I'm so sorry to have interrupted. I hope the two of you are able to carry on, but I need some time.
"Are you certain, my dear? We'd be more than happy to comfort you, too."
She looks the two of them up and down, and next time. Next time
As you
after a long conversation.
As you wish.
And Charlotte turns around and starts walking out, expecting Victor to follow her.
And
She-
Victor is going to follow suit. Put down his back deck and chops. Charlotte, wait, we can talk about this. And he's gonna make his way out the door, shut it right behind him.
As you get up, you can feel Rebecca dragging her fingernails down your arm. But she doesn't hold you or anything like that. It's just that feeling lingers as you leave the room.
And he leaves the room, shuts the door, and kind of moves to the side of the wall just to process what just happened and what
Scarlet
good of
Deer
acting.
grabs him by the shirt collar and pulls him up.
No,
Are
you don't.
No, I don't.
He is not wearing one.
Oh, she grabs him by the hair and pulls him up. We are going to have a long conversation about what help means.
He did not bother putting on his clothes before he left the room. And there are lots of people looking at him now. Some of them are very appreciative looks. Others
You're
are,
right.
oh my God, what the hell is going on?
And Victor did not think that one through very much, and he wants to go back to really quickly run back into that room, grab his clothes, but at the same time, he rushed out of there in such a hurry.
Are there any of the blood slaves on this floor?
Yeah,
Are they
Are
all
there any
naked,
that
or
are there
are there
any that are
clothed?
like?
they're all nude.
Aw, damn. Well, serves you fucking right. Come on, get in the fucking elevator. We're having a conversation right now about this.
Yeah, okay. You can let go of my hair now, though.
No. He's much taller than her, but she's still like.
That's fantastic.
Grabbing him, just the clump of hair that she has. Is it just like the one blonde streak in his hair that she's grabbing him by?
Sure, absolutely.
You're gonna rip the hair out. You're gonna rip the hair out.
You
Ow,
just
ow, 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 ow.
She drags him to the elevator to get back to the main floor. Okay. I thought you were dying or dead or being hurt or being harmed. You were just having a lot of sex. How fucking dare you?
It was too much. It was too much.
Then say no and exit.
I don't think you understand how intimidating they are.
You owe me. Like a lot.
Yeah, okay, fine. I owe you big time. I
Like
owe
a
you big
lot, a lot.
Fine. Just
Fine.
get me to where I can get some clothes.
What? There's a magic word that you seem to be missing.
Please. Please get me to where I can get some clothes.
Here. She takes the modesty shawl off of her shoulders and just kind of like holds it out to him. Her chest, her dress is so low cut. It is like nearing to waterline, and she holds it out to him and she's like, it's silk, and if you ruin it, I will murder you.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'll make sure not to ruin it. Don't worry. We're gonna keep this shawl nice and clean, okay? And it just
Nothing
flashes.
that is touching your person at the moment is nice and clean. I need to wash my hands. I have never been more angry at you.
Yeah. Look, you were just the first person in my recents. That's why I texted you.
You didn't. I called you like four. Never mind. I don't know where Sage is. I don't know where Kimberly is. You're alive. There are visiting dignitaries that think I'm a shriveling girlfriend, and I didn't get to have sex with the women.
Oh, okay, but to be fair, they did offer.
I would have blown my cover. I'm not interested. I have a girlfriend, as do you.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of your girlfriend, though, Lottie, you ever, like on a serious note here, do you ever figure out what you're gonna do?
I've been too busy trying to keep you from getting killed by two succubi.
I'm not talking about right now. It's been months, Lottie.
I don't see how that's any of your business.
Because I know the struggle of trying to figure out if you should or not.
I would love to have this conversation when you are
When
not.
I'm not in the nude. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let's have the conversation after I get some clothes on. How's that sound?
Excellent. Well,
You're gonna have to deal with me back in the plaid hoodie, though.
Ugh. I wish they
That was
kept.
my only pair of nice clothes.
Ugh. Kimberly pay you now.
Yeah, she pays me, but still, I haven't had a chance to go and do some shopping, you know?
The elevator gets them to the floor in front of everyone else, and Charlotte turns, slaps him, and then walks out of the elevator.
That's fantastic.
And Victor, with the shawl around his waist, he's just going to slowly, with his head turned down, make his way to his room to go and grab some clothes.
You head to your room, and because I have to, hang on. Oh dear God!
What? What are you doing?
You open the door to get some clothes, and Piper is in the room.
Pipes. Well, hey, hi.
She looks at you, looks at the shawl, kind of gives a sniff. Victor,
Look, I've got a perfectly good explanation for this.
she sits down on the cot. I would love to hear it.
I was seduced. Charlotte bailed me out. This is her shawl.
Do not put me in this! You hear from somewhere up above you in the castle.
I made a mistake here, Pipes. That's on me. That's my bad. And I'm sorry.
She looks at you, and you can see her lower lip is trembling. And after about 30 seconds, she gets up. One hand comes up and wipes what is probably a tear from her eye, and storms past you, using her shoulder to kind of push you out of the way, even though she's the one that ends up getting pushed out of the way because vampire and vampire strength. But she tries, and then walks out of the room.
Into the den of vampires.
Victor's going to very quickly throw some clothes on and go to run after her. Piper, hold on, wait.
You you run out after her, and in the throng, I guess, of people milling about and dancing and doing whatever, you start looking for her. There are enough people that you don't immediately see her. So go ahead and make a, let's see here. Give me a intelligence. Actually, just give me a perception check. Okay.
You'll hate that we can't see those.
You you run into the room and frantically are kind of standing up on your tippy toes and looking over the crowd, trying to see any semblance of movement. And you do eventually see some out towards where some of the people are dancing. And here, Kimberly, you are dancing with one of the Carthian elders, a tall, long-haired, not mullet, but long wavy hair. Probably from California. Built quite well, fills out a suit fairly well. He's dancing with you. It's classical music. He invited you, which was kind of a shock. But he's been chatting with you about the local collegiate scene, at least on the coast where their territory is, because he heard you were going back to school. And as you're talking, a form bumps into the back of you and causes you both to stumble.
Okay, I'm going to turn around and look at it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Miss Kimberly.
Piper, is everything all right?
It's well, not exactly.
What's the name of the dude I'm dancing with?
Garrus.
Garrus, I'd like to introduce you to my lovely companion, Piper. She's been helping with the college education and has been assisting one of our compatriots with building the music videos that have become so popular. Piper, this is Garrus.
And he reaches out and takes her hand and presses his lips to it. It's a pleasure to meet you, ma'am. If any friend of Kimberly here is certainly a friend to me. Oh, well, that's wonderful. Kimberly, can maybe could we go somewhere?
Is that all right with you, Garrus, if I solve Piper's core issue?
Yes, of course. We can dance another time. There's always going to be more balls.
I look
Bars.
forward to it. And Kimberly will reach up and brush a kiss across his cheek and put her arm around Piper and lead her off. Garrus is such a wonderful gentleman.
He seemed nice.
So tell me, what is wrong with my pet?
And she unloads everything Victor said as he walked into the room. What she assumed happened. He went off with some hussy and slept around on her, and she took on this burden for him, and now he's not being faithful, and da 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 da.
I know you did, and I know he has done a very terrible, terrible thing. How would you like to punish him, my child? My pet.
She blinks. What do you mean?
Well, you are meant to be his companion and friend, and he has hurt you greatly. How would you like him punished? I'm a bit fond of vengeance stresses and finding someone new to lavish my attentions on, but what would you like? Because while, yes, you did accept the burden of what you were doing for him because of him, nothing says that you have to remain as his. There are plenty here that would be delighted to have someone such as you as their child.
She looks like she's considering that for a moment.
Would you like me to introduce you to a couple?
That might be nice. I don't really know anyone except for him. Well, and you, of course.
I'd be delighted. And Kimberly's going to take her around and introduce her to various, and including take her back to Garius and encourage the two of them to have a dance and get to know each other and use whisper in Garrus's ear about how she was looking forward to becoming a child and the person that was going to sire her has brutally betrayed her.
Okay. Victor, you head to where you saw that movement and she's no longer there. You continue looking through the crowd. Make one more perception check for me, if you would. Okay. It takes you about 20 minutes. But eventually, you do find Piper again, and she is dancing with a tall, very well built gentleman, long blonde hair, and a very winning smile, who's talking with her, and she appears to be smiling and laughing at whatever he's saying. And they're dancing.
Is Kimberly still around there too?
Oh, yes, Kimberly's keeping an eye on things with a broad, happy smile.
Victor is going to slowly make his way over there. And upon noticing that, does Piper look like she's enjoying herself?
Yes, she does.
And upon noticing that she looks like she's enjoying herself, he's just going to stand there next to Kimberly and just, Kimmy, I fucked up. I made, yeah. I even had to get Lottie to bail me the fuck out. And now I owe her big time. I wasn't thinking that's what it was, you know?
Oh, I'm sure you were thinking just with the wrong head.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to apologize to Piper, but she looks like she's really enjoying herself. You know? I don't I don't want to ruin the fun she's having. What what do I do here, Kim?
Let her have her fun, then perhaps later you will have a chance to speak with her again. I would recommend that you start thinking before acting in the future. This could have been avoided if you had simply gone and had somebody else bring you clothing.
Yeah. That's
That seems to be proving to be a failing for you, friend.
I know. I normally think things through more.
You have not shown that you do, actually. You have repeatedly caused issues and have repeatedly done things that have not only endangered yourself, but now you've endangered me and Piper, particularly Piper, because I have some modicum of protection from the prince, but you've endangered Piper by going to your rooms that she is often at and causing her distress where she comes here among. You threw a lamb into the wolves' den.
I know. I know. I know. I just
You keep saying you know, yet you
how do I
still
how
do it.
how do I fix this, Kim?
Well, hopefully Garrus does grow affection for her and decides to make her one of us.
If that's what's the best for her, then
Well, it's that or she dies, because at this point in time, there will be no other option. She will either need to be turned or dead. The ghouling was to protect her, but if you're going to keep hurting her,
it was it was a this thing was a one-time slip up here.
was it?
It was actually, but
You say that it was, and you said that about your mistakes earlier when you collected police attention. You said that it was a one-time mess up when you sent Piper to Elysium in the beginning. It's
I
been
know.
a repeated activity of one-time mess ups.
I know. I'm not. If you haven't noticed, Kim, I'm not the best at this whole vampire thing. I try, but
You have
I
been in business for a long time, correct?
I have been, yeah.
You understand how business works.
I do. Or at least
Then
I did.
start treating this life like a business and less like a willy-nilly game that you are playing. Do you just race when you were running your business? Did you just race into doing random things for no apparent reason? Or did you actually calculate cost and benefit?
I see where you're getting at with this.
This is just business. It's all you have to focus on.
Yeah.
I suggest for now you go find something else to occupy your time with. Perhaps think about how you want to move forward and how you want to live with Piper becoming one of us.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna go get back to work, I guess. Then.
Failure.
And he's going
You,
to.
Victor,
Yeah.
focus. what is the best way to improve yourself at this point in time? And it is not going back to work and isolating yourself. At this point in time, if you want to protect Piper, then you need to start making contacts and socializing. She is an asset to your business and you're abandoning her. Focus.
Yeah. If I'm being honest right now, I don't know what my next step is, what my next course of action is here.
Do I see the primogen of the Game Girls? Or the leader of the Gang Girls? Or I don't remember what Victor's covenant is.
Uh, yeah, he's Invictus.
Okay, so do I see the leader of the Invictus?
The Primogen? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna point him out and said, "See that man right over there,
Girl.
or girl? There are too many people. There are too many NPCs for me to keep track of.
Primogens are always girls. Who run the world?
All right, I'm going to point her out and say, start there. Have a conversation. Introduce yourself. You need to start getting to know the people that are in control of your future."
Yeah. No, you're
Good
right.
talk.
Thank you, Kim. And I'm sorry you got wrapped into this too.
Piper's a good girl. She's proven to be very useful. An excellent asset. I look forward to seeing her blossom.
Yeah.
Now go.
I would like to see
Introduce
that
yourself.
too.
Socialize. Consider it a request from your prince's heir. After all, that's what the purpose of the ball is to socialize.
He nods and he starts making his way over to the Invictus Primogen.
Okay. Sage, what are you doing? After your warning with Charlotte and not wanting to go into that other room.
You were right.
I think Sage has been down where the party is. Well, I don't know, classical music. I think Sage is looking for the blood rave. And
Oh, you're in the wrong building for that. There's a whole other building.
The blood rave is in Jacksonville. It's not in Miami.
Yeah, they are looking or wandering around, hoping they can find an exciting party or something. And they
You
land somewhere.
okay? You find yourself with a group of younger vampires, not you young, but only a few years older. And they're kind of, or maybe not with them, maybe you're wall adjacent, if that makes sense. And they're kind of huddled together and talking about how boring this ball is. And they don't understand why the prince continues to put on these functions. But they're going to get together at Bloodlust later. and have some real fun.
Oh,
You've heard the name before. I don't know if you've ever been there, but you've heard the name.
Hi. You were talking about bloodlust just now?
One of them, a girl, looks up and looks you over for a second, and then she grins. Yeah, you know bloodlust, don't you?
I don't think I've been. I've only been a vampire for 6 months. I'm just kind of taking it slow.
Her smile gets wider and she slides an arm around your shoulder. Oh, my dear boy. Such wonderful things we have to show you.
Okay,
Come.
no,
Hang out with us.
you are not allowed to use that phrase. That is a disturbing phrase.
No, she does not have pins protruding from her face.
Good, because that's creepy as shit.
Disappointing. Is there at least a Lamont configuration anywhere nearby?
Well, one of them is playing with a Rubik's Cube.
Not the same.
Terrifying.
Yeah, I would love to come. I do have to ask, is it a territory where I will not be welcome?
I mean, it's in Carthian territory, but everybody goes there.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm a Carth. I don't know. Yeah, I'll go for sure.
Okay.
Should I wear something that isn't like runway? Should I wear a suit or should I get into something that's more street clothes?
She looks at you for a second and then reaches out and unbuttons 3 more buttons down your shirt.
Mm.
And then takes, so her hair is tied up with a red silk tie. It's only about 3 feet long, and kind of wrapped in against itself to where it forms kind of a tight, almost scrunchy type clasp. She pulls that out of her hair and then slides it around your neck and leans in and presses her lips to your neck. And she says, "Oh, we're going to have fun with you.
I mean,
This is going to be so good."
well, now you're sounding extremely predatory, which on the one hand is understandable. On the other hand, I am also a predator, and while I'm
Why,
not
yes, you
mighty,
are.
I am clever. So don't try to fool me into something,
She
and
laughs.
we'll be friends.
"My dear young one, I would never dare."
Okay then.
And it's about another hour before they all leave and take you with them. And we'll cut there. We'll talk about bloodlust in just a few minutes. Charlotte, what are you doing now that you've slapped Victor in front of actually more than half the court of vampires in the city?
I'm
would like to dance.
What are you looking for? Who are you going for?
She's already danced with the prince. I think that she kind of follows through on her line, so like other children related to Cressida for a little bit, and then eventually goes and taps Piper on the shoulder.
Okay. How long do you give it before you do that?
Oh, it's like an hour or so.
Okay.
She's not looking for Piper, she just happens upon her.
Fair enough. So you dance your way through 6 or 7 partners, male and female, and they, they're all very solicitous. Some of them know who you are. Some of them know you by name, but don't really know anything about you. And you introduce yourself, and they introduce themselves. Kind of like one of those speed dating places, right? Except no one's actually dating. It's very much can we make nice and still be deadly predators sort of a thing. When you tap on Piper's shoulder, she's dancing with a tall gentleman, long blonde hair. You can kind of see he's they're conversing, and he's relating a story that you overhear the tail end of, something about a California mayor and a scandal involving the theft of a Corvette or something like that. And Piper is laughing like it's the funniest thing that she's ever heard. Being very familiar with social cues and things like that, she's absolutely not faking it. She thinks the guy's hilarious.
Well, good. Charlotte kind of waits until there's a lull in the conversation, maybe the next dance starts, and then taps Piper on the shoulder. May I steal you away?
Oh, and she looks at you, and she's kind of flushed, like almost embarrassed. Um, I Shawl, and um, Piper, my dear, is something wrong? Are you all right? The man asks. Can we help you?
You can say no if you'd like. I was just hoping I could have the next dance.
Would you like to dance with the lady, Piper? Oh, um, I guess so. Will you stay close? I'd like to dance with you some more later. Of course. And he looks at you and kind of inclines his head and holds her hand out to you.
She takes it and is leading the dance. She's comfortable with playing the male part in a classic dance.
Okay. And he walks off to the side, very visible, very, eyes watching you, but not in a I'm going to murder you in your sleep kind of way. It's more um I'm I'm watching for her. There's this thing, and maybe there's going to be more of a thing, and maybe there's not, but I'm kind of curious to find out, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you are dancing with Piper now.
You shouldn't look so desperate. Leave them wanting something more.
She looks at you all confused. What do you mean?
You're so. I don't know if I want to dance with anyone else. I only want to dance with you. Come back sometime. Let him have a little bit of a chase.
A chase.
A chase. For predators.
Hmm.
Have fun with it.
Maybe I'll try that.
Grand idea.
And you can see her mind working. It's not. That's obviously something that she's never been good at or never done or something like that. But she's at least familiar with the concept.
Well, don't hurt
Playing
yourself.
hard to get.
I mean, just throwing yourself at them. It's a little, there's not a hard won prize there. You see that one over there? And she twirls Piper away from her towards a just another gangrel gentleman. And she kind of laughs and pulls her back. He has wanted to dance with me all night, and I am watching and I am waiting for the moment that he stops being interested. And that's when I'll ask him to dance.
But I thought you were into Victor.
Oh,
Isn't that?
oh no. Darling, I'm a lesbian.
Oh. I mean, with the shawl, I thought. I
I
thought
didn't
that,
want his dick out.
and she leans in, blushing, and whispers something really naughty.
Charlotte laughs and then spins her again and pulls her back. I expect it to be heavily laundered by the time it is returned to me.
She giggles, and the two of you, dance through a song. Are you planning on doing longer than that, or is this just
No,
a quick social?
I think it's just a quick social, a check-in, a like, hey, did you get eaten? No, cool. And then she pulls her around to a different person than who she was dancing with at first. Just do 2 more songs with other people and then go back to the gentleman that you like.
Oh, okay. And as you kind of pass her off, it's not a smooth transition. Like she's never learned how to dance in a classical or a ballroom kind of a way. And so she stumbles a little bit, and this guy catches her, and they begin to dance. Um,
That's it, darling. Get a little bit of a spine. There you go.
and you are free to do something else.
I think she wants to go look for Sage. I don't know if Sage has already left or not. All of her friends are gone or in dire straits, so she's just kind of
By
vibing around.
by this time, Sage has not left.
Okay, she's gonna go look for Sage then.
Okay, you find him in a group of vampires. They're all younger, and they're talking and laughing, and you kind of huddled together. It's not. It's not one of those open groups where everybody's got that body language that says, come join us. It's almost standoffish. Like, we don't belong here, but we have to be here anyway. So we're going to hang out with us, and you can hang out with you, and everybody will be just fine.
Charlotte has never shied away from a social challenge.
Okay. So
She
what's your play?
she steps in and loops her arm in with Sage. I told you I wouldn't die. Although I did have to see Victor's dick. You're muted.
Oh, gross.
Very
It's
furry.
like it's like looking at your dad naked.
Oh, I don't want to think of that. My dad's in prison. Who are you? Who are these
Oh.
people?
Oh, these are people that want to socially exploit me. But
Oh, just like
it's
me.
a but I think it'll be fun, and if it isn't, I will do something else.
That sounds like how everything always literally works. Yes, way to go. You've cracked it.
Uh, have you been to Bloodlust before?
No,
Have you
should
heard
I?
of it?
Yes,
I've heard,
you have heard of it.
I've heard of it. It's intense. Are you
Well,
going?
I guess that's where we're going.
I
Would you
mean,
like to
far be
come
it
with
from me
me?
to invite myself to somewhere, but oh, what was that?
I said, would you like to come with me?
I would be delighted.
Okay. They're leaving in a little while. But they said that a while ago, so I don't know how long. Um,
And
so
almost
I'm
if
just
on
hanging out.
cue, they stand up and they start migrating towards the elevator.
Oh,
Charlotte uh takes a moment to kind of like un un unsophisticate herself a little bit. She like tears a little like V in the front of her shirt and like messes up her hair a little bit. Yeah, that's a little better. Let's go.
I thought it was already incredibly low cut.
Yeah, it is. I'm fucking hot. Thank you.
Um, cool.
All right. The two of you join them, and um, there is ample transportation to get there. Bloodlust is about
Got a bus.
15 blocks north of where Elysium is held, and
Not me.
it's a converted 2-story warehouse with a giant lighted sign of individual letters that all look like they're dripping with blood, and it just says Bloodlust. Um, Outside, you see a massive line. There's got to be 150 people out there waiting to get in. And the group of you just walk right up to the bouncers who wave you on through, um, much to the upset of the people in the front of the line. As you walk in, you're immediately hit with two things. The first is bass. There is a house beat going on loud in the background, um, and it is heavy enough of a beat that you can feel yourself vibrate when it hits. The second thing that hits you is the scent of blood. It is not overpowering like it's a bloodbath, or you've got 50 bodies bleeding out all at once or anything like that, but it is distinct and very unmasked, if you will. Not something that's hidden or shielded or anything like that. As you walk into the main area, so I said it's 2 stories. The ground floor is probably 2/3 dance floor, and you see easy 500 people, all of them dancing to this house music, writhing on the floor and jumping and doing all kinds of dancing. There's some seating around it, but not much. There is a fully stocked bar off to one side, and you can see the alcohol flowing freely. And there is a stairway, a curved stairway leading up to the second floor. At the bottom of that stairway are three very large bouncers, all of which you can tell immediately are vampires. And upstairs, the lights are dimmed. Downstairs you've got like strobes and reds and blues and greens and flashing lights and everything like you'd see at a rave, right? The upstairs that overhangs probably half of the floor space of what would be up, or what would be the ground floor. The lights are almost exclusively red with a few white lights, but they're all dimmed like you'd see in a library or something. That soft touch light, but color with red and then white. There appear to be many more booths up there, but you can't really see what's in them. So
There.
Jeff, you wanted good
Okay.
music. There you go.
Yeah, Sage is looking around and he says to the lady that was excited to bring him here, are we allowed upstairs?
You've got fangs, don't you?
Okay, that was my assumption. I'm gonna go dance.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. Maybe pick a meal while you're at it.
Okay,
Come,
I go
come.
out to the
Let's
dance
find
floor.
somebody.
I
And
go to the dance floor and
she
I
goes
look
with
for a
you,
big old muscle daddy.
and you find one. He looks jock-ish. Probably not gym bro, but very much muscular and fit. And he looks like he's had a few, but is not absurdly drunk. And he's just dancing and enjoying himself. The females around him all seem to be very appreciative, and you notice most of them are human. A couple are vampire, but they're mostly focused on the other females. And you and this girl sidle up to this guy and begin dancing with him, and it goes very well. He doesn't seem to mind you being there. He doesn't seem to mind her being there, and it looks like he's still having fun.
Cool. I just follow her lead.
Okay. After about 20 minutes or half an hour of dancing, you both worked up a pretty good sweat, and you hear her lean into the guy and say, "Hey, you want to go have some fun?" And you see her spinning something in her hand, and it looks like a small metal tube.
Okay.
And he looks down at her and he kind of gets this grin on his face and nods. And she hooks her finger in the scruff of his shirt, in the front of his shirt, and kind of drags him along. And looks at you and says, "Coming, Sage."
I was walking right behind.
She
So,
grins
yeah.
at you and winks and leads you right up to the three bouncers, and they just sort of part and leads you upstairs. The upstairs is almost full of, um, I'll call them three-quarter moon booths. Basically, it's got a table in the center. It's not it's those the ones where you have to get in and slide in to get around to the
Mhm.
other side of the table. Um, and she slides into one and pulls him along behind her and kind of gestures for you to get in after them so that he's between the two of you.
Mhm. Um, how old does this guy look?
He's 27, 28, easy.
Ancient
Okay.
sage.
Ancient. So, a daddy to Sage.
Yeah, sure. You betcha.
All right. Yeah, Sage joins the conversation, and um I think Sage is just kind of testing like testing their powers. They want to know something about him, and then say what they've learned to him, fit it into the conversation to take him off guard.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your power for that.
What discipline is that? Beast tackles. No.
While you're getting that, Charlotte, what are you doing?
Charlotte is looking for the biggest, buffest, most party woman in this place.
Okay. You find one.
Hello.
And she is dancing with a much smaller girl, redhead, and the two of them are talking and laughing. um they're not dancing and particularly close or anything like that, but they look like they came together. It's a really odd mix. The tall woman's got ebony skin and very dolled up. Her hair is in braids, and it's very intricate. The ends of them are in beads. Very beautiful woman, but extremely muscular too. She takes care of herself. She's wearing a sleeveless dress. It's a blue, a sapphire blue, and the redhead is wearing an emerald one. Um, it sets off her eyes. Her eyes are green as well.
For the first time in the game, Charlotte does not seem within her comfort zone socially. And she steps towards this coupling. Uh, hello.
And the girl looks down at you. She's a little bit taller, um, and kind of furrows her brow for a second, and then smiles. Well. Who's this?
Uh, you can call me Charlie.
Charlie. How cute. I don't believe I've seen you here before. Are you new or?
Is it that obvious? It's my first time here. I'm a little overwhelmed. You two seem to know what you're doing.
The nights here divine.
Are you well acquainted with the night?
Enough.
As am I.
You do not get the sense that she's a vampire either.
Okay.
So neither of these two are. They just have been here before.
How would you two like to come upstairs? Somewhere quieter to speak.
What do you think, Laura? Are we ready to call it an evening dancing? You know, the redhead looks up at you. She's shorter than you by at least a head. You know, I rather think I am. She's cute.
I feel the same. And what was your name, dear? She looks at the taller one.
I'm Rebecca.
Rebecca. Pleasure. Have you burnt down any mansions recently? The reference might be lost. It's a classic English. Never mind.
No, arson really isn't my thing.
And she takes the two of them and starts heading towards the stairs. And what is your thing?
And the smaller redhead looks up at you and says, "Well, at the moment, it's you."
Charlotte isn't blushing because she's not flushing life. She doesn't really do that. But she kind of laughs. I should warn, it's not going. I'd like to talk. I like chatting.
We can start there and see where it goes.
Perfect. And she leads them upstairs. Am I right to assume that upstairs is more exclusively for vampires or no?
Yes.
Okay.
The bodyguards part, and you go upstairs, and they lead you to an empty booth. It takes them a while to get there, though, and as you're walking, you see a lot of people. Some of them are feeding, others are openly having sex. There's a lot of alcohol. You see a rather large amount of drugs as well. There's white powder on about a third of the tables. There's you see a couple people smoking something. You see one person with a needle, but that's the only one. There's a lot of in the shadows because it's so dim. What looked like bodies writhing together, and then they pull you into an empty booth.
Do these two seem like they've been up here before?
Yes.
Okay. They're not vampires. They've been up here before. Do I get any read on if they're any kind of magic or they're mortals?
They're mortals. Or at least as far as you can tell. You wouldn't be able to tell if they're mages or not. You probably could tell if they're werewolves. And they are not.
Because they smell like wet dog.
She just sits and orders drinks for the three of them and then just, so what brings you to Bloodlust? Seems like a particular sort of club.
We're particular sort of people.
What kind of particulars are you looking for?
2 points.
I think you found them.
we kind of gathered that you're a bit cool for the non-pointy people.
I find Flushing life, particularly in a place like this, to be almost embarrassing, really.
But it can be so fun.
Sometimes. What got you interested in the pointy ones?
The two of them look at each other and kind of smile. They make the best lovers.
Can't argue with that logic. I, of course, will be buying you drinks. Perhaps you could offer me a drink.
Both of them grin at you like, duh.
It's important to ask for consent.
Cutting back to Jeff, Sage is currently watching as the girl that he's with is cutting up a line of powder
Mhm.
and offering your new friend the small steel tube that was in in her hand, and he very freely goes and he snorts it up, and leans back and kind of smiles as it hits him,
Mhm.
and her hand dives under his shirt and begins scratching at his abdomen.
I think Sage does much the same, just like feeling him up, feeling
And
all
he
them
lets you.
muscles.
He is more than willing to do whatever you would like to do.
I begin to kiss on his neck for a moment, and then I lean up and I say, I'm feeling thirsty. Do you mind if I have a drink?
Where exactly would you like to drink from? And he winks at you.
Ugh.
Some people like winks, Caro.
Not I.
um, I think Sage just kind of opens their mouth and drags one of their fangs down the side of his neck a little and says, about here.
And he reaches up and he takes kind of feathers his fingers in the back of your head and pulls you close.
And I push my fangs into the vessel.
And you're feeding.
Nom nom nom.
As you do, you notice briefly that your companion is doing the same thing, except at his other shoulder, and somehow his shirt has disappeared.
We'll have to find him a new shirt.
Your companion's got skills. This is not her first rodeo.
She just yanked it right off. Okay, I drink from him, and I think I'd probably take, since we're both drinking from him, I would probably try to take just 2 vitae.
Okay. When you are done, you lift up, and he is very, very obviously aroused.
I, having never been too fussed about privacy, will scoot over into his lap and straddle his hips and start kissing him.
And he eagerly participates. And that's where we'll cut that.
Thank you.
Charlotte, You
Yes.
order drinks for the three of you, and whatever conversation you want to happen ensues.
She's just kind of chatting. I think she's relishing in the ability to have an authority over this place where she has never been and is frankly quite uncomfortable being in. Um, as she feeds on these two ladies, she uses Kiss of the Succubus, which I threw out in the chat. So
Yep.
basically, they will keep coming back to her, presumably when she is here. She does not partake in any sexual activity with them other than what is required to drink. And eventually, she just kind of laughs and says, My girlfriend doesn't know I'm here."
Oh, you should bring her next time. 4 is always more fun than 3.
I would be happy to. I think that you would like her.
If she's anything like you, I'm sure we would.
She is nothing like me, which is why she's significantly better.
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself. You're a lot of fun. We
you.
like you.
The feeling is quite mutual. Um, you've been coming here a while, correct?
Yes.
Have you noticed anything odd about the people lately? Some
Um,
powers seem to be getting more powerful, some abilities are changing. I shouldn't be talking about it with Kith, but
I'm sure I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
well, good. Perhaps I'm just being paranoid.
Over the course of the conversation, you get the information that this particular um, club is owned by vampires. You're assuming it's the Carthians because it's in their territory, but they don't know, and so they don't say. They come here because someone invited them, and they had a very, very good time donating. We'll call it.
You're certainly in a better condition than some of the other blood slaves I've met.
Well, and so this is in the brief conversation that you've had about bloodlust in the past. This is another one of the prince's experiments. If
Mm.
you provide a place where people don't have to go and murder or risk murdering people, or if you provide a place where people want to come and give voluntarily, do you have territory disputes? Do you have individual vampires fighting over hunting grounds? Do you have issues with backstabbing and stuff, or does putting vice out in the open, front and center, take all of the hot air out of the balloon, right? And make it so that there's less conflict. And from what you can tell, in the several years that this experiment has been going on, for the most part, it has worked. You still get the occasional vampire and vampire dust up. You still, I mean, the Invictus, or the Invictus and the Carthians are never going to like each other. They're too different for that. But they're not constantly at each other's throats. And so, I guess it's like the saying, the proof's in the pudding, right? That's the bit that you know about this place. Obviously it's quite a bit more graphic and more out in the open than than you expected, but it's also being guarded by a crap ton of vampires, and they're actively discouraging people that don't that would cause trouble to not be inside, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Charlotte thanks the two ladies for their lovely company, and then offers to walk them back downstairs or hang out up here for a bit. She kind of assumes that they can't hang out without her up here.
They cannot.
Yeah. Would you like to remain or would you like to dance? She took one vitae from each of them, by the way.
That's fine. They opt to go dance. If you're not going to want to stay up there, they opt to go dance and maybe find somebody else that would.
Yeah. She thinks hard about giving in to more carnal desires, but finds that she's not particularly interested. And she walks them downstairs, and then
You
kind of
walk past a booth that's got Sage in it, and he looks like he's enjoying himself.
she kind of looks at him and cocks her head a little bit. All right, well, I'm glad he's having fun. And then just steps away.
And that is where we'll cut that scene, I guess. So it is 4:30. We're going to take a quick break. Be back in 10 or 15 minutes. And at that point in time, we'll go back to Kimberly and Victor and see what they're up to. So until then, thanks for joining us, and we'll be back soon.
And we're back.
All righty. So, let's take a look at what Victor's doing. You have left your ghoul in other hands and are now going to dance with the Invictus Primogen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay. The Invictus
Victor-
Primogen, Annette Rothford is her name, is mingling and having polite conversation with all comers, and looks very, very regal. She is actually in a muted pantsuit that is light gray with a red kerchief as an accent, tucked in the breast pocket of the coat.
Victor makes his way over to her and tries to get her attention just by walking near and holding his hand out, ready to introduce himself to her. Hi, I'm Victor. I was told that you are the Primogen for the Invictus, and it's a pleasure to meet you.
Victor, how wonderful to finally meet you.
The pleasure's all mine, really. Sorry, I'm not. I'm not good at this whole introducing myself in small talk thing.
I think you're doing quite well. You're Victor, and I'm Annette.
Nice.
That's a very good start. Very, very good start. And she just smiles at you winningly.
I was mainly coming over here to see if you would be willing, if you'd be willing to, I don't know, if I could have this small dance. I know I'm being very forward here, but
She blinks and her smile broadens. Of course. And she hands, she holds out her hand, waiting for you to take it.
he does, and he leads, and surprisingly, when it comes to ballroom dancing, he is actually very talented at it.
She is also very, very skilled ballroom dancer, if a little bit stiff. It's as if she's trying to both dance and appear regal at the same time, and it's a bit of a balancing act, but somehow she seems to pull it off. You don't get the sense that she's uncomfortable with you. It's just, it's her bearing, I guess, if that makes sense.
You know, you're pretty skilled at this. A lot of practice, I assume.
Well, that's a very clever way of asking a lady's age, and
Well,
she winks at you. But
nah,
yes, I have
just saying,
danced
it's
once or twice or several thousand times.
really because I just gotta say, you don't look a day over. What is it? 25.
And she throws back her head and laughs. Oh, you're too much, Victor. Come now, it doesn't look that young.
Oh, you could have fooled me.
So, how are you finding your new employment? Is it to your liking?
Well, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, working for Kimberly has been a yeah, it's been a breath of fresh air compared to the bankruptcy that I was in before. So
Yes. Unfortunate circumstance that.
yeah, bankruptcy, ex-partner's, got his own thing going, and yeah. But it's not. We don't have to. I don't have to dwell on that right now. Right now, my focus is on making sure that you have a wonderful dance.
Nice recovery.
Thank you. I attribute that to the awkwardness that I constantly hold.
Why is it awkward for you?
Yeah, it's. If I'm being completely honest here, I don't get out much. Even before I was turned, I didn't get out much. I was. Yeah, I was running an animation studio where I was the head animator, so I was working, 40, 50, 60, 70 hours, maybe even more. Animation's a hard work. So I didn't get out much. Being honest, I still don't get out as much as I feel like I should. So a lot of it's just I don't have the best people skills, really. That's what it boils down to. Yeah, and because I come from New York. People skills are different there than they are down here.
Well, yes, of course. It's who can shout the loudest.
Yeah, which, if I'm being honest, was never me.
I understand completely. Oh, you have your Deva friend Kimberly, no, and surely she's able to help um, guide such social graces.
Oh, trust me, she's saved my skin more times than I can count, and I owe her for that. I've got a few others that have also kind of bailed me out of, yeah, difficult situations.
Ah, yes, young Charlotte, and I believe his name is Sage, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
but
An interesting group, you four.
yes. And surprisingly, I'm the oldest of the four, so
Well, you know, they say and have said for years that you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. But between you and me, I don't believe that. I believe we vampire, because of our ability to live for such a long time, have the ability to learn as many tricks as we wish, including how to ask a lady to dance without feeling awkward about it.
yeah, maybe the next time I'll be better at that, huh? And he kind of
Practice makes perfect.
and he kind of gives her kind of a he chuckles a bit and gives her like a joyful little playful wink of sorts.
And she launches into a conversation that um, you and her end up talking for not one, but 5 songs, and you don't even notice the time.
And Victor's kind of reaching his capacity, his mental capacity for socialization at this point, and so he looks down at his watch and says, "Oh, oh shit! Oh, sorry, pardon my language. It's really been, ooh, really been that long. Wow, huh? Time sure flies when you're enjoying yourself, huh?"
that it does. And at that cue, the music comes to an end, and she slows and stops. It's been a wonderful opportunity to get to know you a bit. I certainly do hope to see you more. Um, I believe you have much to offer of Invictus with your skill and business sense. You're in a field that not very many of us are familiar with. It offers a unique perspective.
Well, that's what you get for spending your life behind a pen and paper, huh? That's kind of how this happened for me.
Indeed.
But I'd be, I'd be sad if I didn't, if I didn't see you again. It was a pleasure dancing with you.
Likewise. And she steps back slightly and actually curtsies in her suit.
He returns with a bow and plants just a gentle kiss on the top of her hand. Well, hopefully we see each other again. Can't wait till the next talk.
Your social graces are improving already.
Oh, would you look at that? So they are. Thank you.
Likewise, Mr. Rockwell.
And with that, he's going to give a gentle nod, and he's going to make his way to try to find Kimberly.
Currently,
Kimberly is socializing.
okay. Kimberly is socializing. You spend 5 or 10 minutes looking, and you eventually find her.
So yeah, he's going to make his way over. Wait till she's done talking to whoever she's talking to, and well, that was and then he's gonna. Well, that was eventful. That was, dare I say, fun. I didn't even realize how long she and I were dancing for, to be honest.
So
Have
is
you
it
been?
time for me to say I told you so?
Yeah, look, okay, you told me so. All right, you told me so. She said that I offer a fresh new perspective on things with the Invictus because of, well, my career and all that. And my business sense. So, thanks for pushing me to get out there a bit.
You're welcome.
And, Kim, have you seen Piper? I feel like I need to sit down and have a talk with her.
She's planning on going to California.
Really?
Yes, the lovely vampire I introduced her to, and finds her very interesting.
Well, I'm, at least if that's the case, then if that's what she feels is best for her, I at least want to be able to say my goodbyes to her first.
I'm
So.
sure she will allow that. Do us both a favor. Let her go.
Yeah, that's. If I'm being honest, I think that's for the best, probably.
She can continue to work for you from a distance, but let her go. Let her find herself. She's been attached to you, and you failed to provide proper protection and think of your duties as her master.
I have, and you're completely right with that. So I think, yeah, you're right. It's best to just let her go and find herself.
And do all of us a favor and don't try to ghoul somebody else.
I
At least until you learn how to be a master.
Yeah, no, trust me. I don't plan on doing that again anytime soon.
I'll ensure you get some videos to watch.
I wouldn't expect anything less from you. And Kim, thanks for being a pal and actually a decent employer too.
I do try. After all, a happy employee is typically better for business. I
Oh,
choose a happy employee over a happy customer if it comes to the degradation of my employee.
Oh, trust me, I felt the exact same way about my employees.
Good. Then we understand each other. I trust we'll see more of this intelligent Victor in the future.
Well, I don't plan on getting rid of him anytime soon, so
Good. Because I'd hate to have to hurt you.
yeah, I would hate for you to hurt me too, because it would be hurting and it would be pain, and I don't like pain. So, where is Piper right now anyway?
I'm gonna point out Piper happily dancing with the blonde from California.
And Victor
I
sees
figure
her.
by this point, her head is on his chest, and he's got the biggest shit-eating grin on his face.
At that point, Victor's going to at least wait until this dance is done before making his way over to her to, give her a final farewell and apologies and all that.
The dance finishes, and you make your way over to the couple. He looks at you questioningly, but doesn't say anything.
And he gives a bow to the blonde-haired one, and then turns towards Piper. Hey, Pipes, can I talk with you and have a small dance just to talk?
She blinks as if she were in almost a trance, and looks at you and Victor, and immediately the guy's face changes, and he almost glowers at you.
Okay.
Oh, this is Victor.
Okay. If a dance is off the table, I just want to say, Piper, I'm sorry for everything getting you wrapped up into this. What just happened recently. I wanted to apologize for getting you wrapped up in all of it. And I heard that you're planning on moving to California, and I just wanted to, get the apology out there. I'm not expecting you to forgive. That's not what I'm expecting. I just wanted it to be out there in the open, and I wanted to wish you luck in California. You deserve someone who'll treat you better than I did, and you gotta find yourself. I gotta. It's. He takes a deep breath, trying to focus himself. I need to let you find yourself, and I wasn't ready for the responsibility, and that's completely on me. And I'm sorry, Piper. I want you to enjoy yourself in California as much as you can. And he slowly goes to, he nods, and he slowly goes to turn around. And as he starts to walk, he he says one more sorry, and makes his way somewhere else to go and mingle a bit.
Okay.
Feeling of the like there's still a heaviness in his chest, but it's a heaviness that he knows is there for a good reason.
That um, that feeling lingers. the the night slowly comes to an end, and eventually the crowd disperses, including the ones that already have and are at Bloodlust for the after party. Um, and you are able to find your way back to whatever home you choose to be at. So if you want to stay in the office, you can. If you want to go back to your apartment, you can. Kimberly, I'm assuming, goes back to the prince's apartment in his towers. Charlotte, I'm assuming you go home at some point.
Yeah.
And Sage, I'm assuming you go back to Marley's afterlife.
You're muted, Sage.
You're muted.
Yes.
When you do, you find both Rebecca and Victoria already there, sitting on your couch.
Um. Hello. Uh. uh Hi. What are you doing here?
You see Rebecca slowly lean forward and pull out your tarot deck and set it on the table and begin to shuffle it.
Have Wait, was it you? Were you the one leaving the cards?
She shakes her head no.
Then what's happening here? I don't I don't understand.
I am Morai, the agent of fate. Come, young sage, sit, and we shall discuss your fate.
Oh, this sounds like some assassin shit. I don't really have a choice, do I?
Victoria leans back and crosses her legs and shakes her head and says, "Not really."
Sage moves closer to them and sits on the sofa, but as far as they can manage is to sit away from them.
They turn towards you slightly, and Rebecca starts dealing out cards. As she does, you notice two things. First, you notice that um, all of a sudden, the light coming through the window in this room turns from the normal white, pale white of a moon to red. And you glance outside, and the moon is now red. And the second thing you notice is that as she deals cards, each time she does, they flash a very soft blue. They've never done that for you.
Mm-hmm.
And she is muttering something underneath her breath. What she's muttering, you can't tell, but you do notice that it's not in English. It's in a different language. And it doesn't sound like French. You know that she's French, but it doesn't sound like French. At least what little you know of French. Or maybe you know more about French. I don't remember.
Not much.
But there's no wa or merci or the vowel endings, right? Like you see in much of French. It's very much a different language.
Okay.
When she stops speaking in that language, her eyes are blank, as in no pupils at all.
Just solid white.
Solid white.
Mm.
And she says, "You were turned by the faithless, one who abandoned you." And she turns over a card, and it's the Fool. And for a brief moment, you get in your mind's eye a image, a picture of Cassius sitting in his chair. Excuse me, Raphael sitting in his chair.
Oh, okay.
My bad. She begins speaking again. You were left with another who had no claim to you. And she turns over another card, and it's the Page of Diamonds. And now fate has summoned us to determine what the fate of your masquerade should be as a result of the choices that you have made and the choices that others have made. And she turns over a third card, and it's the High Priestess. What do you wish in your heart of hearts?
I want purpose. I've had a lot of people telling me what to do and how to do it, but that's just been following instruction. I I want to feel a sense of purpose. If I have to live forever, it should at least be sorry, should at least be meaningful in some way.
Purpose is a tricky thing. If others give you your purpose, it is restricting, it is binding, it is entrapping. And if you follow your purpose, it is prideful, it is hubris. There must be balance. There must be service and control. The
I think
fates
I
give,
understand.
but they give to us asking that we take a hand. And she takes the deck and she slowly sets it back down on the table and then slides it towards you. What is your fate? And she looks at you expectantly.
Every night I wake up and I do a reading. And for the past month, it always it always includes a high priestess. And I feel like that's my calling. Insofar as the only thing that seems to matter to me anymore is the mysteries of the universe. But instead I just go out and fuck and feed and come home and do another tarot reading. I don't I don't feel like I'm living up to my potential. But no one has shown me a path that I could follow that would help me in any way. Are are you the high priestess the card was telling me about? Or am I to become a high priestess?
She looks at you for a moment, or at least you assume that she's looking at you. And she smiles and then looks at the deck in front of you.
I reach down and flip over the top card.
The top card is Judgment. I am the high priestess. And you were to become a judge, would you choose this path?
A judge can be kind. A judge can help right the path that someone has strayed from. And a judge can also be cruel when needs must. I'm both of those things. I think I could be the judge.
The card that you turn over flashes blue briefly. Very well. We will leave in a week. Settle your affairs.
Okay. Just
And
tell me when you're leaving. A week, obviously, but
you will know.
okay.
And they stand and they walk out. As they walk out, you note that the room is not red anymore.
Hmm.
It's white once more.
Okay. Well, that's real weird. Um, but maybe this is better. And I go to my room and pull ensure that the curtains and uh, shades are all drawn as well as they can be, and I get uh, you know, into the bed that I sleep in, where I just essentially sleep on the floor and pull a whole bunch of blankets over the top of me, and,
Okay.
I go to sleep for the day.
Everybody asleep. The following evening, you wake up once more. Um, Victor, am I mistaken in saying that when you wake up, your habit is to watch the news?
You would not be
You
mistaken.
old
No.
man.
Okay. Um, you wake up and you turn on the news, and there is a news report when you wake up about a fire. And the address is, it's one that kind of tickles the back of your head. Like you ought to know what it is, but you can't quite remember.
What are are they giving any details about where the fire was other than the address?
Um, the news report says that it was a house in a somewhat well-to-do neighborhood, um, but not one that you've ever gone to. You're thinking that if you knew this, it was probably in a conversation maybe even in passing.
Do I potentially remember anybody telling me this address at all? Like, did anybody mention to me that it was their address?
Give
Sometime.
give me a intelligence plus intelligence roll.
How do I do intelligence plus intelligence?
So, how many dice are intelligence?
I've got right now. I've got 2 dice, but
So
as
you're
well,
four dice.
I've got 2. I've got 2 points in my intelligence here.
So you're 4 points.
Okay.
So you're rolling 4 dice.
Three.
Right. Okay. You think about it for most of the early evening, getting dressed, taking a shower, and it's in the shower that you remember, as it usually is, because showers are hecka relaxing. That it was in a conversation with Sage once. You're fairly sure Raphael used to live in that neighborhood or lives in that neighborhood.
Good. And I finish up my shower as quick as I can, and go and grab my phone. Just shoot a text Sage's way saying, "Sage, I need you to check the news if you can, or if you can't, I need to tell you about something. And I'm pretty sure this is important to you."
What an awful text.
It is Victor.
I would say it's Victor, and
Yeah.
he's just starting. He's a baby with social graces.
No
but-
context whatsoever.
Yeah, this is the most boomer text you could get. Like, hey, something bad happened. Give me a call.
Let's roll that back then. Let's roll that back then.
Only in a few hours
Too
something
late.
bad happened.
He gets a text saying, "Sage, are you busy?"
That's still
Equally
bad. That's still bad.
No. He deletes it on his text history, right? But what he doesn't realize is that it doesn't delete it on Sage's text history. So he sends that text, he deletes it on his text history, and then he writes another text that says, "Sage, are you busy?"
The funny thing is, though, he's only 32. He was born in the 90s. He should know how this is, but he doesn't.
He should.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sage texts back and says, hi, I have a lot on my plate. What's happening?
And he's gonna say, just real quick, what was his name? Raphael live close to this address? And he sends that address too with it.
It's Raphael's address.
Yeah. Sage responds, yeah.
Okay. Well, turns out, according to the news, there was a fire at that address. And did the news say that if the place burnt down or not? Like fully burnt down?
Oh yeah, it's toast.
Yeah, it's according to the news, it's all in ashes. I know it's early, but I thought that, well, early for us, but I thought that you should be the one I should tell about this.
Sage is very smart. Sage has a good understanding of, uh, to some extent, of what's happening right now. And uh, as Sage reads this, uh, not a smile, more of a smirk uh, flashes across their features. And then they send uh, three emojis: a fire emoji, a house emoji, and another fire emoji. And and then uh, and then they send a text that says, "I didn't do it, but it sounds like he got what was coming."
Itch.
And yeah, Victor's gonna get text back. So you're not upset, and it sounds like you say this is a good thing. Send.
Uh, Sage just hits the like call button, uh, and 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 calls you.
Sage is like, this is excruciating. I'm not texting this old man anymore.
Yeah, Sage just calls you, and as soon as you answer, Sage says, "So, I just think that it was ordained that this was supposed to happen. Um, Also, I don't think I'm gonna be able to see you for a long time.
Why? Why? What's going on,
A-
Sage?
Again, I didn't do it. I didn't burn down his house.
Hey,
Uh,
I believe you, but what's going on? I mean, is it just me, or are you gonna be telling this same thing to Lottie and Kimmy?
I don't think I'm allowed to say anything, and so I'm not going to. But I mean, it was really nice getting to know you, and you're funny, and you don't always mean to be, but it was fun. You were fun to hang out with for, an older guy. Um,
And Victor lets out a soft chuckle. I'm only in my 30s, right? Early 30s.
um, so here's the deal. You need to get on the internet and you need to figure out where the Bonobos store is, and you need to go there and get a brand new wardrobe because everything you wear is terrible. Uh, and and everything they've got is not too far away from who you're going to become. So just give it some thought. Um, I am gonna go. I need to speak to a few people, but if I don't see you again, I hope that you make your life good and that you treat people well.
Trust me, I'm going to do my best. Just don't forget to say goodbye to the girls then, unless you've done that already. But if you left without saying anything to them, I'm pretty sure that they'd both be hurt.
Well, I'm gonna go now. Um, Thank
Sage,
you
just
for letting me know about Raphael.
of course, yeah, just take care of yourself, okay? And if you're able to talk, I'm just a phone call away.
Okay.
So
Well, thank you.
yeah,
It's really nice of you. Um, but I have to go now. Take care of yourself.
You try not to die out there. And he hangs up.
As Sage hangs up the phone, they say, "We all die eventually," and heads out to go speak with the prince.
You get up and head out of the room into the main room, and Cassius is kind of waking up off the couch. Blinds are drawn, and he rubs his face. Hey,
Hey, I think Raphael might be dead.
Raphael, what?
Well, I just got a phone call from my friend, and he told me that there was a fire at Raphael's house yesterday, and everything's burnt down. It was on the news, and when he told me that, I tried to reach out to feel for Raphael. There was nothing there. So he either left the city big time or he was in that fire. I just thought you
Cassius
should
does
know.
something that you're not sure you've ever seen him do. He pulls out a cell phone.
Mhm.
You didn't think he knew how to use one, or maybe he was just always too stoned to present that he was technologically savvy. But he has a smartphone, and he pulls it out and starts looking something up, and oh my God.
Was it bad?
He turns the phone around and shows you a picture. The house is ash. All that's left is the cement basement that he had, and
Mhm.
everything in it's immolated.
Well,
None of the houses around it are burnt, though.
Cassius, I have to go talk to the prince.
The
But
prince?
yeah,
You think you know who did it?
um, I would hesitate to speculate on that, um, but I have to talk to the prince about other things.
Oh, because I mean, I didn't do it, and
I know. I didn't
obviously
do it either.
you were here, so you didn't do it. So we didn't do it, and um um and he looks kind of nervous, like he's going to get blamed for it or something.
Um, I just put my hand on his shoulder and I say, I think the prince will not be looking into this.
His eyes narrow, like you know something. I don't know what it is that you know, and I'm not going to ask you because you're not going to tell me. I know you're not going to tell me, but you know something, and I'm going to figure out what it is.
Well,
He
I
doesn't say that, but
yeah,
that's
I look
the
down
look
at
he gives.
him and I just squeeze his shoulder and I say, it was nice knowing you and uh, you know, you're an incredible lay. I just thought you should know that. Um,
I mean, well, yeah, but you're not dying, are you?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because you can stay here. I'm not like just because Raphael's dead. I know he told me to keep you here, but
No,
or
no.
to
I
let you live here. But you don't have to go just because he's dead.
no. I will one way or another be gone this time next week. Uh, and I don't want to be dramatic about it. So I'm not going to have a party. I think it's best if I don't really bring a lot of attention to it, but I thought you would notice. So I'm just telling you. I'm going to be gone. Um, but I have to go talk to the prince now, okay?
Okay, and it's one of those dubious okays. Like, why on earth would you ever want to go talk to the prince willingly?
Um,
He
and can
doesn't he doesn't like the prince. But yeah,
I say I'm not sure Sage does either. No, I know Sage doesn't either. Um, but Sage says, "I this might be the last time I see you. Okay, so uh, be be nicer to people than you are."
he looks at you for a second and then reaches into a shirt pocket and pulls out a very well stuffed roll of paper that's twisted at both ends and
Mhm.
hands it to you.
Um,
Kind of a going away
Joy.
present. Yeah, join.
Oh, um, thanks. I'll I'll treasure this. And they slip it into their pocket. They leave wearing the suit that they had worn the night before because it's the nicest clothes they have right now.
Yep.
Um, and then they head to the uh, Elysium.
Okay. Charlotte,
Hi.
you wake up. Do you wake up alone? Do you wake up with a day of the week? Do you wake up with
She wakes up alone, though not for lack of trying.
fair enough?
And texts Sage. Busy night last night? 3 question marks and a winky face. Because the last time she saw them, they had been making out with someone in a booth.
Yep.
Um, yeah, Sage just responds, "Pretty busy. Um, I'm going to Elysium. Would you like
Why?
to meet me there?"
She sends back, yeah, okay,
Um,
and starts getting ready to head that way.
cool.
Kimberly, you wake up.
Okay.
Your usual goblet for breakfast.
Oh, negative.
Yep.
Prince is sitting there and he's having his goblet. The sheriff, on the other hand, is not there.
Good morning.
Good morning. How did you sleep?
Decently well.
I understand you spent some time last night getting to know people. That's good. You have to do that more often.
I intend to try. Big plans.
Anything I can help with?
Kimberly's gonna study him for a long moment and then open her laptop and click on one of the tabs and turn it and show him a picture of an island in central, just about a mile and a half off the coast of Panama.
Ooh.
Pretty.
200 acres. Partially developed. It's a freehold.
Expensive.
Yes. But big dreams. I'm thinking it'd serve as an excellent resort for us and our family.
He sits back, not missing the inflection or the word choice, and slowly begins sipping at his blood some more. About a minute and a half later, he smiles. I approve. Do you have plans?
I do. That's part of the reason why I returned to college, is so that I could get a degree in hospitality and business. And I've started making inroads to inquire prey. And she gives the biggest, fangiest grin. After all, criminals make the best fun to hunt.
He smiles. Dreaming big, I see.
Yes. The hunters think it's a great idea.
They would. Though it's been tried once before. I presume that you will do a better job than the British did, though.
Oh, yes. See, I firmly have an idea of not only bringing prey, but providing monetary sustenance in the form of turistas. White sand, blue surf, exquisite parties.
May I suggest that you avoid the crocodiles? They didn't work out so well the last time.
Oh no, actually, I'm going to encourage having more. After all, stupid rich people also enjoy the pleasure of hunting. Importing a couple of large game once in a while to incite them to visit and hunt. I'm thinking wild boar from Texas would be perfect.
Very well. Please let me know if there's a way I can help.
Well, I hate to say it, but as you said, it is very expensive. I'm going to need to find investors, people interested in a lifetime opportunity of enjoying the fruits of such an expedition in exchange for monetary compensation.
I can think of 5 such investors off the top of my head.
I look forward to providing a good business plan for a private playground.
He raises his glass in salute and takes another drink.
She'll salute him back and take a drink of her own.
He finishes his and cleans up and enjoy your day. I will be at Elysium if you need.
Thank you. I will. I'm visiting someone else for a bit, and then I'll find my way to Elysium later in the morning.
He wanders off.
He's gonna make a little fist bump, like, yes, he's on board.
And then where are you going?
That is a good question. Kimberly's gonna finish her breakfast and put her glass down, and wipe her lips, and put her stuff away like she does, because she likes a place for everything and everything in its place. She's very organized and visual. And then she's gonna meander her way to Marley's afterlife.
On the way, you get a text from a number that's familiar to you. Your young friend's sire is missing, presumed dead. Do you suppose he had anything to do with it?
I'm sure he was in his apartment the entire time. It is highly unlikely that he would have done so. After all, his sire was old.
Very well. Keep your eyes and ears open.
Of course, I will. I'm going to have a conversation with his servant as we speak.
Be careful. And that's the only reply.
She just kind of grins and puts her phone away.
Sage, Elysium. You make your way down and go to the prince's office. There's a tall woman standing outside. May I help you, Mr. Thorne?
Yes, I need to speak with the prince at his earliest opportunity. Uh,
How long do you need?
5 minutes.
He has some time now.
Oh, okay.
She opens the door and peeks her head in. Sire, Sage Thorne to see you. Let him in. She opens the door and you walk in, and the prince is standing and pacing as he looks looks at the wall that's designed to be. It's an LED screen.
Mhm.
You know that you're 30 stories below ground, but it looks like a changing Miami skyline. If you look, you can see cars driving on streets. You can see clouds going by, the sun's rising, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And
Mhm.
he's looking as if he's looking out the window. Please, Mr. Thorne, have a seat. What may I do for you this evening?
Um, well, I uh, wanted to do things properly. Um, and so I wanted to tell you that I will be departing from Miami.
Oh,
Yes. I have been requested to leave Miami with Rebecca and what's the other lady's name?
Victoria.
Victoria Argent.
Um, I've been requested by them to depart uh, when they leave this time next week.
He stops pacing and turns slowly to walk back to his chair, folding his arms and placing them on the back of it as he looks at
Mhm.
you. So you wish to become Morai?
I think I do, but importantly, I think that my options are very limited.
Yes, they do not often give many choices, do they?
I don't know. I guess I'll find out.
He looks at you for a long moment and he says, then allow me to offer a parting bit of advice. Do not trust anyone but yourself. Allow your own mind to guide your actions.
Okay. I'm not too worried about it because I've always gotten along with cold withholding women in positions of power. Uh, it's kind of, I don't know, they think I'm interesting and kooky. So it might go like that, or I don't know, I might get to wear cool suits every day instead of just for parties.
He looks down at his own clothing, which is sharp and stylish. You have to admit that the guy actually does know about clothing and looking good because he looks impeccable every time you've seen him. He says, well, there's always a reason to look stylish.
I mean, I guess I usually do, but maybe not with most of the people in the court, because I think I look stylish for the people who are humans who are my age. I guess I've got a lot of growing up to do. I'm a 19-year-old immortal, and I don't know. I hope that if I encounter you again, it's on good terms. From what I understand, and from what I assume, uh, from, well, you know what, you know what happened to Raphael?
My sheriff is investigating currently.
Okay. Do you expect him to turn up much?
More than one might expect. Perhaps less than I would wish.
And do you expect it to be very actionable for you or for your sheriff?
Not particularly, but all knowledge is good.
I believe that. Um, so yes, I hope I don't ever come back on the opposite side of things from you, because well,
That would be an interesting encounter, to say the least. And
I mean,
he gives you a slow smile.
hopefully an enjoyable counter before things got ugly. Um, all right. I am going to stay in the little cabin room uh, that that I have here. I have one of those, right? Victor has one.
You do not, but he says you can use one of the public rooms. That's fine.
Okay. Um, all right. Thank you. I hope that things are good and that everyone is good. I don't really know what to say right now. It's a very awkward situation. I just wanted, like I said, to make sure that you knew what I was doing so you didn't feel like I had done things improperly. So, uh, my prince, you are handsome and kind of off-putting, but so am I. We have that in common.
We
And
do indeed.
I will be staying in one of the public rooms, and I will be there until for 6 days. So, if you wanna swing by, uh, that would be cool, and if not, that's also cool. Um, alright, I'm going. Do I have permission to with your leave, Prince, I will retire. Uh, is that how I'm supposed to do that?
He chuckles and he says, perhaps you can learn after all. Very well. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of finishing school ahead of me. Uh,
I suspect
I,
you are correct.
but anyway, by your leave. And then I turn around, feeling very proud of myself, uh, and walk out of the office, head held high, hoping he doesn't grab me by the neck and rip that high head off.
He does not, and that is where we will end our session today. Thank,
Woohoo!
thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it. Um, don't really have any announcements for the Citadel. So, from ours to yours, happy gaming.